What happens when America's most effective president teams up with its most innovative entrepreneur? Well, we're finding out in real time, and the establishment is terrified. President Trump and Elon Musk joining forces to dismantle the bureaucratic waste that's been draining American prosperity for decades. Musk is now strategizing with the House DOGE panel to cut $1 trillion in wasteful government spending. Not a typo, $1 trillion of your money that's been funding the administrative state, disappearing into foreign aid black holes or funneled into left wing pet projects, and it's working. This House Majority Whip, Tom Emmer, reports. Anecdotally, based on what I'm hearing back from my district, it's about 70 to 75% excited and happy that it's actually happening. But it's not just about cutting waste, it's about reimagining how government works in the 21st century. And wait till you find out who I bumped into right here in Washington, D.C. And you know, all this talk about Musk and Trump tackling government waste, it reminds me that we need to eliminate wasteful approaches to pain management too. If you're suffering from chronic pain like many Americans, listen very carefully. There's a little known turmeric hack that's changing everything. While regular turmeric may help slightly, a Connecticut pain doctor discovered a special extract that's 200 times more powerful than standard turmeric. This extract attacks pain at its source, shutting it off like a light switch. Dr. Josh has spent over 20 years helping hundreds of thousands of Americans break free from constant aches and stiffness using this revolutionary approach. Forget expensive surgeries and addictive medications. This natural solution is changing lives. I've experienced the difference myself. Learn about Dr. Josh's turmeric hack and how to implement it by visiting goldenrevive.com/NNN today. It's linked down below, and just watch the free video. Okay, check this out. Here it is. Who did I run into? Oh, Kari Lake. Holy cow. I had just finished my show, and I bump into Kari Lake, and I'm like, holy cow. And I looked at her and I said, wait a second. You're Kari Lake. Oh, my goodness. And I was like, okay, admittedly, I was kind of like fanboying out because, I love Kari Lake. As you know, I was advocating for her to be a vice presidential selection early on. And she had some huge news to share with me because I was asking her, like, hey, you were appointed to the head of Voice of America. Remember, she was going to have this massive role to be able to control the narrative at Voice of America News. Well, there were some complications apparently, and now she is the head of the. This is okay. So anyway, I'm kind of running ahead of myself, but we connected, and she sent me this tweet this morning privately, and this is the news inside the Voice of America. Government employees, this is from Matthew Foldy. Government employees told me that the fate of Voice of America and America's government-run media is now in the hands of Kari Lake, a woman who they say hates the media. Insiders at the U.S. Agency for Global Media told me that they are dealing with a nightmare scenario. Trump's pick for VOA director, who is held up by rules keeping Lake out of that role, is now in an even more powerful position after Trump named Lake as his senior advisor overseeing the entire agency. Talk about dropping a bomb, right? Okay, so like Trump found it. He figured out a way. Okay, so they're not gonna let her just roll right into Voice of America. So we'll just put her over Voice of America. This is solid gold. The quote here: "I don't know if she's trying to save us or destroy us." One said, "She brought in Doge and doesn't seem interested in making friends at the agency." So, what does that tell you? She brings in the Doge boys, and it's time to just cut, and streamline, right? So I'm excited to see this. I'm personally excited to see that Kari Lake is now in a position of true authority where she can kick ass. If you remember, when she was getting screwed left and right in Arizona. They stole the election from her. We had to delete videos because you couldn't talk about these things. I mean, we were right there at the front of the line fighting tooth and nail to expose what was happening to Kari Lake. And now she has a seat at the table where she is going to help President Trump cut the waste, fraud, and abuse right here in the swamp. This is beautiful. Okay, what else have we got going on? We got CNN's Van Jones. Oh, Scott Jennings. Oh, please. Scott Jennings dismissing claims of government funded. What? What?
It's real.
One thing we should note is that Elon Musk got a huge ovation at the State of the Union, but when he got in the room with those members of Congress yesterday, it was apparently much less effusive because they were worried. The fact is that if you ask Americans, should we eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse from the government, you'll get a lot of response for that. If you start defining waste, fraud, and abuse as things that they value and workers that are essential, they're going to have a much different view. So the initial blush of Musk with his chainsaw may have had some resonance. The fact that he's cutting down stuff indiscriminately, less so.
Well, it's not all indiscriminate. I mean, we don't really need the transgender mice, do we? I mean,
that's not even real.
It is real. I'm sorry, man. It's real.
No, listen.
Is it real or not?
Hey, hold on a second.
Did we have to say it was real or not?
No, hold on.
It's real.
I mean, Musk was a shield.
How about the
It's a real thing.
No,
so look, my point is,
listen. They weren't talking about transgender.
Don't defend the mice.
No. Listen, you don't want to talk about it. We don't talk about it. But it wasn't transgender. It was a different term that was misinterpreted as transgender. They were actually doing basic medical experiments on mice to figure out.
Don't spoil a good troll.
It's just not true.
Jennings is having a good troll. Don't spoil it.
Here's the point. They have found some things.
Yes.
And
the greatest public relations advice I could give them is this. You found stuff, you're going to find more stuff, and there's going to come a point where you could take this to the Congress and have a really good hearing and a really good public display. That is the next iteration.
For the record, this is.
And we have more incredible views of the Starship Super Heavy in space and Earth provided by Starlink Internet. Yes, Elon Musk, the head of DOGE, is also launching rocket ships. Gotta love this guy. Yeah, there's my picture with me and Kari Lake. What a moment. I was totally fanboying out. Probably freaked her out a little bit, but I know she's watching this right now. Kari, listen, let's keep talking. We've got a lot of work to do, and I want to help you advance the agenda. Okay, Elon Musk, 19 hours ago, quote tweeting the Tesla owners of Silicon Valley, "I will fight and die in America." Elon Musk, there he is, posing with some soldiers. It appears to be a real photograph, not an AI-generated one. Here we have this from Representative Byron Donalds talking about overspending in the federal government. This is on CNN.
When you have to unwind the terrible inflation from the previous administration, you have to go through several processes, like I've laid out. The first piece is what DOGE is doing, giving Congress a list of areas where we can make immediate cuts to the betterment of our economy and to the American consumer. When you massively overspend federally, you inject more dollars into the system, you create inflation. That's the way it works. That's what Joe Biden did. We have to squeeze that out. Tariff policy is a piece of that that's raising revenue into our coffers through other means than just raising taxes to help stabilize the federal balance sheet here on Capitol Hill. So those things work together. And so I think it's important for people to understand as we work through the changes that our economy needs, it will create a more stable economy that grows organically with its own efforts as opposed to being reliant on government stimulus. More government stimulus is only going to yield more inflation. When you have to unwind.
Yeah, that's exactly true. The more government spends, the more government stimulus, it just increases the money supply. It's pretty simple economics, but some people, it's just too difficult for them to understand. Elon Musk, here we have Lynn P. Elon Musk strategizes $1 trillion spending cuts with House DOGE panel in closed-door meeting. Discussions include a strategy to push through the cuts despite potential legal challenges. President Trump hailing Elon Musk's team at the DOGE. Thank you very much. Here's some screenshots. Musk strategizing $1 trillion in spending cuts. Elon Musk, Fox News, strategizing $1 trillion spending cuts with House DOGE panel in closed door meeting. DOGE looks to make $1 trillion in spending cuts, and the executive DOGE team is confident they can get $1 trillion. He acknowledged we're going to make mistakes, but we're going to correct them quickly. DOGE reported savings right now, estimated savings right now, $105 billion. Amount saved per taxpayer, $652. And we're just getting started, folks. What else have we got going on here? Let's keep going in the Doge. Here we have Democrat strategist. This is Thomas Hearn posting this clip from CNN. Democrat strategist Alencia Johnson picked a fight with Scott Jennings, and he ran circles around her until Caitlin Collins decided to end the segment.
How did we? I think they acknowledge as they go. They've obviously updated the information they've put out on their website. And I think they have some political leash here to make a few mistakes because people look at this government. I mean, today we spend about $6.2 trillion. In 2019, we spent $4.45 trillion. How did we go from $4.5 trillion to $6.2 trillion?
Tax
just the
cuts,
last 5
CRs.
years. No, this is spending. This is federal spending. And so, and on the VA memo,
these mistakes are impacting everyone's lives, like literal lives.
On the VA memo that we've been talking about, these job cuts. If you read the memo, they're going back to 2019 staffing levels. The VA operated in 2019. We somehow lived with those staffing levels.
Yeah, but you know it was passed in between then, the PACT Act, which was to help burn pit victims.
I know.
That's why it expanded.
I know, but here's the point that Republicans
Yeah, but that's
making.
more people who needed eligible, who were eligible to.
Do we need 70,000 federal workers to cover it? My question, and what the Republicans are asking, is simply this. Is it not possible for us to approach getting back to 2019 spending levels, or maybe did we go too far with the size of government? It always gets bigger. It never gets smaller. There will be sob stories. There will be sad stories. But overall fiscal health of this country matters.
It can't be a talking point that these are sob stories. These are, again, people's livelihoods and also the health of this country, right? They have some of these mistakes that people keep talking about are gutting our agencies that are taking care of, I don't know, paying attention to the bird flu, Ebola, these things that actually can have detrimental impacts on the American people.
We have Ebola in the United States?
Well, we are helping the world be a safer place as well, Scott.
I mean, on the bird.
Wait a second. Can you show me the constitutional mandate that we have to do that for the world? Yeah, see, that's the disconnect that these Democrats have.
You know, Biden slaughtered all the chickens. I don't know if there's any left to kill.
On that note.
Come on, Scott.
It was a bloodbath. You all love that word.
You can laugh about this, but these are things that people are actually scared about. I mean, measles is coming back. There's so many things that are happening that our federal government makes sure.
Oh, yeah. Measles is coming back. Oh, he's all going to die. Right? Yeah, these are fear tactics on CNN. Scott Jennings just taking them apart. Caitlin Jennings is trying to reel it in.
Musk caused the measles?
I'm saying what is happening in this government right now with Donald Trump appointing...
You saying Donald Trump caused the measles?
I am saying that what is happening in this federal government under Donald Trump, allowing Elon Musk and allowing all these people that he appointed to run this government like this, is actually making us unsafer for the American
Elon
people.
Caused the measles. You heard it here first.
Here. Scott Johnson, not what you said.
Well, I think they...
Oh, wow. Yeah, Elon Musk causes measles, please. Of course, he's calling them out to their faces on CNN. Here we have 12 hours ago, Rapid Response 47. President Trump claims $180 billion savings for Americans through deregulation efforts, and it's only the beginning. GOP Majority Whip Tom Emmer on the Doge. Oh, God, I love Doge.
Is actually happening? Well, I would say anecdotally, based on what I'm hearing back from my district, it's about a 75% excited and happy that this is actually happening. They've been waiting for it for a long time. And you're right. You've got these activists. Many of them are paid activists. They represent different groups that have been making their money off the government for decades, and they don't want to see this happen. So they're literally trying to create some opposition that just doesn't exist. And I would go back to the president's speech the other night, which they wanted to pan. They wanted to be negative about it. I think depending on which poll you were looking at, 68 to 76% of Americans thought that was great. That's exactly what they want to hear. He made promises, Joe, and he is delivering on those promises. And the Americans that voted for him, 77 million Americans, are really happy about it.
Oh, yeah. The mandate is real, and we are experiencing it. What is this? Would be a shame if this video of Pocahontas exposing how corrupt she is went viral. What's this about? Let's find out.
Elon Musk wants everyone in America to be at the mercy of Elon Musk. We are here to fight back.
Fight back. Fight back.
When that much money disappears, it's usually because somebody broke some laws somewhere. But if we don't look, if we don't ask, if we don't uncover it and make it all public, we'll never find out. Elon Musk wants...
Elizabeth Warren, 2009 versus 2025. Yeah, it would be a shame if that went viral, right? Okay, we've got some more to get into. Here is the VA Secretary, Doug Collins. The days of kicking the can down the road are over.
Media for decades. Hey everybody, it's Doug. I've always promised you I was going to shoot straight with you, and you're going to always hear it from me. Well, I got a bit longer message for you today, so just bear with me because you'll want to hear what I'm going to say. The VA has been a punching bag among veterans, Congress, and the media for decades. Things need to change. We owe America's veterans and the hundreds and thousands of excellent VA employees solutions. For many years, veterans have been asking for a more efficient, accountable, and transparent VA. This administration is finally going to give the veterans what they want. President Trump has a mandate for generational change in Washington, and that's exactly what we're going to deliver at the VA. We're going to make the department work better for the veterans, families, caregivers, and survivors we are charged with serving. And here's how we're going to do it. In response to President Trump's Department of Government Efficiency and Workforce Optimization Initiative, VA is conducting a department-wide review of its organization, operations, and structure. Central to these efforts is a pragmatic and disciplined approach to eliminating waste and bureaucracy, increasing efficiency, and improving health care, benefits, and services to veterans. This will be a thorough and thoughtful review based on input from career VA employees, senior executives, as well as the top VA leaders. Our goal is to reduce VA employment levels to 2019 in-strength numbers, roughly 398,000 employees, from our current level of approximately 470,000 employees. Now that's a 15% decrease. We're going to accomplish this without making cuts to health care or benefits to veterans and VA beneficiaries. VA will always fulfill its duty to provide veterans, families, caregivers, and survivors the health care and benefits they have earned. That's a promise. And while we conduct our review, VA will continue to hire for more than 300,000 mission-critical positions to ensure health care and benefits for VA beneficiaries are not impacted. There are many people complaining about the changes we're making at the VA. But what most of them are really saying is, let's just keep doing the same thing at the VA has always done. No, not going to happen. The days of kicking the can down the road and measuring VA's progress by how much money it spends and how many people it employs rather than how many veterans it helps are over. Here's just one example. We're conducting a comprehensive review of the VA's 90,000 contracts, which are worth more than $67 billion. After reviewing roughly 2% of those contracts, we were able to cancel nearly 600 non-mission critical or duplicative agreements that will save the department roughly $900 million. Just imagine how much more we'll be able to save after we review the rest of VA contracts. The money we're saving by eliminating non-mission critical and duplicative contracts is money we're going to redirect to veteran-facing healthcare, benefits, and services, resulting in massive improvements in customer service and convenience.
Okay, that's exactly what I said. When they go ahead and they cut out all of these unnecessary jobs and contracts, it's going to provide more money to provide real services for veterans. It's that simple. So when they say, oh, he's going to cut all these jobs and contracts, the VA people are going to suffer, veterans are going to suffer, it's a lie. It's a lie. They're freeing up money so they can actually help.
Improving services to the veterans is exactly why the VA exists. That is what everyone, Congress, the media, and VA employees should be focused on. There have been a lot of news coverage regarding recent layoffs at the VA. Now, we regret anyone who loses their job, and it's extraordinarily difficult for me, especially as a VA leader and your secretary, to make these types of decisions. But the federal government does not exist to employ people. It exists to serve people. At the VA, we are focused on serving veterans better than ever before, and doing so requires changing and improving the organization. Look, the VA was never perfect, and it will never be perfect, but we can and will make it better. When we find problems, we will fix them. When we will communicate what we are doing to the public. That's what I'm doing right now. But we'll be making major changes, so get used to it. Right now, VA's biggest problem is that its bureaucracy and inefficiencies are getting in the way of customer convenience and service to veterans. As I have said before, we owe American veterans and hundreds of thousands of amazing employees solutions. And mark my words, that is what we will deliver.
Yeah, see, solutions are coming. Don't believe the lies when the mainstream media tries to feed them to you. Here we have more. This is Timcast News 11 hours ago. $375 billion dollars being allocated to charities under the guise of addressing climate change.
18 million criminal charges. Donald Trump is considering criminal charges for USAID staff after DOGE uncovers wild abuse. Boy, do I got some stories for you. $18 million per month to an empty migrant facility. And how about...
Okay, we covered that the other day. Now criminal charges? Oh, please, please, please send some of these people to jail. I mean, the only way we're ever going to have accountability in Washington is if some of these folks are actually perp walked. Not getting promotions, perp walked.
the story of John Podesta's slush fund? We got Lee Zeldin at the EPA, and apparently they uncovered that, I think, was it $375 billion? Is that the number? Can I just jump to this real quick, make sure I get the number right? $375 billion were being handed out to charities over climate change, and some of them had been formed only 1 month prior.
Wait. I want to go back to the headline. Look at that headline. $375 billion EPA slush fund, New York Post, handled by John Podesta, gave billions to charities founded only months earlier. No history of good work, no track record of executing on their mission, just suddenly giving billions of dollars to these charities that just pop up. Wow. $375 billion. Oh, it makes me sick to my stomach.
$1 billion were being handed out to charities over climate change, and some of them had been formed only 1 month prior. Doesn't sound real, does it? Now, as most of you know, Donald Trump has been calling out waste, fraud, and abuse. And the response we got from Democrats was, well, how do we know it's fraud? Criminal charges. Donald Trump.
Waste, fraud, and abuse is finally being addressed, like realistically being addressed, not lip service to on a campaign trail to constituents. Dinesh D'Souza, 10 hours ago, posting this, saying she's angry today, mainly because the get-rich scheme is coming apart. What's the point of going into politics if you can't loot the taxpayer, he asks. Why be a Democrat if you can't retire with millions of dollars? Hell hath no fury like a politician exposed. Oh, boy. Who is this?
With elected rich. I am angry today. I am angry what I saw, that president of the United States who ran and had people vote for him because he said he was going to cut their costs, he was going to make sure they had a chance at the American dream, has come in with an unelected, richest man on earth and taken a chainsaw to everything we care about. Everything the American...
That's exactly why we elected him, honey. All right, so you can keep, furrowing your brow and feigning your anger, but the rest of us are celebrating. All right, so keep having your temper tantrum, honey.
Can people put their trust in him to do? It is a betrayal. It is a betrayal. So let's not talk about decorum when the plot is exposed and reiterated every single day.
No, the only thing getting exposed is you. You're the one getting exposed, lady. Oh, man. Oh, goodness. This is solid gold, man. Oh, okay. There's more. There's about 20 seconds left in this rant.
Take people's health care, you take our veterans' benefits, you take funding for our public schools, and you do it all of it, to give a tax cut to the very wealthiest people.
Oh, that's some more bullshit right there. You're giving tax cuts to the wealthiest people. Elon Musk is stealing from Social Security. I mean, you guys saw the clip at CPAC. Elon Musk, yeah, I can finally now buy nice things. This is the richest man in the world. Anyway, these people are just out of their minds. Okay, keep going.
Who won't even notice it, but whose greed knows no bounds.
Greed? This is the greatest rhetoric ever. Elon Musk's greed is determining exactly how he's going to destroy this country. Yeah, this guy's getting ready to land us on frickin' Mars. Okay? Ugh. And it's just greed. These people are out of their minds. Yeah, Dinesh D'Souza was right when he said that she was mad because they're all getting exposed. That's the reality of the situation here. What's this? Live from America TV. Doge has canceled the lease of the Obama Library building, and Mayor Bowser of D.C. forced to remove the BLM painting on the street and rename the plaza. Ooh, the Obama Library? That's in Chicago? Let's see what's going on.
Has just Hey everybody, Jeremy Harrell here, LFA TV. We got some huge breaking news as it pertains to Barack Hussein Obama and the Department of Education. First, let's get to Barack Obama. DOGE and the Trump administration has just canceled the lease on the Obama Presidential Library building moving forward. So I don't know if that will be taken over by the Obama Foundation. I don't know if that means the end of the Presidential Library, or if it'll be transferred over to a private lease. I'm not sure. But DOGE and President Trump to cut waste, fraud, abuse, and government pork. One of those things is to cancel the lease on the Obama Presidential Library. So, bye-bye. If you weren't born here, you shouldn't have a presidential library here, number one. Number two, now that Linda McMahon has been confirmed as the Secretary of the Department of Education, President Trump is moving forward with completely abolishing the Department of Education. Now, a lot of people are really afraid about what this might mean for them if they are working in the education field or, getting any kind of assistance or help from the Department of Education. But what that would mean is the education would go back to the states, and there'd be no such thing as federal oversight. So getting back to the Obamas, remember when Michelle Obama yanked public school funding for free lunches if schools didn't allow boys to go to the bathroom in girls' restrooms? That kind of stuff will end. There'll be no more federal government oversight. And ever since the inception of the Department of Education at a federal level, the education in this country has decreased and dropped significantly. We're not first in anything anymore except for cancer and diabetes. So, long story short, we are removing the corruption from this country. We are giving the power back to the states, which in effect will give power back to the people. Winning, ladies and gentlemen, winning. For more on that and much more, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, live from America, rumble.com and X.
Dude, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Obama's people are probably freaking out right now. As are all of the Democrats. We have this too. Eric Darty posting, shocking CNN data analyst is perplexed at how popular Elon Musk Doge is.
4%. The majority say that he and they should. How about approve of Trump trying to cut staff at government agencies? Again, you get a majority here, 51%. So yeah, Elon Musk might not be that popular, but these cuts and the idea of spending cuts, at least within the federal government and cutting at government agencies, that actually has majority support. I was truly surprised by this, Kate, but the numbers are the numbers.
Well, there is a view that cuts across Democrat and Republican of people thinking that Washington is too big, bloated federal government, waste, fraud, and abuse. I mean, those are drain the swamp is what people run on over and over again. How do they feel? What do they think they're actually cutting?
Yeah, what do they think they're actually cutting? Democrats want to argue that the type of spending that Musk is cutting is mainly necessary programs, but that comes in at just 36%. The wasteful spending actually wins the plurality here at 42%, according to a recent Washington Post Ipsos poll. And I think that is the reason why you see that when it comes to Musk and DOGE, you see, in fact, the majority believe he should have some influence because they believe, the plurality believe, that he is cutting wasteful spending, not necessary programs that Democrats are arguing.
Tomato, tomato. I do like Dusk and Moj, though. I think we need to keep that around. But the definition of wasteful is, I think, what is really starting to come into play.
Correct.
What people, necessary to one is wasteful to another. We are seeing that and finding that. How are Americans feeling about the size of the government?
Yeah, so what is exactly going on here? What is sort of driving these numbers underneath? Government is doing too much or too little. Back in 2020, when Trump lost re-election, 54% said too little. By the time he won re-election in 2024, look at that. Too much won the majority at 55%. It was the inverse. So I think there's this real push from the American public to want spending at the U.S. government to drop. And I think that's part of the reason why they're giving Musk and DOGE that majority, at least at this point, when it comes to his influence over federal government
They're giving
spending.
him running room on this, but that's why I think these numbers show why transparency and what is actually being done and why the problems of they've made mistakes and putting things up on their wall of receipts
Correct.
that didn't actually happen or not, why that is so important and critical.
I think that's exactly right. We'll have to wait and see what happens. What's popular one moment may not be the next. We'll see.
Could change quickly. Good to see you.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that the American people are going to continue to celebrate all these things, just like I celebrated my moment with Kari Lake last night. How cool was that? And I have a feeling this is the beginning of a very beautiful friendship. So the partnership between Trump and Musk, speaking of friendships, it represents something truly revolutionary in American politics, a government that's being run like a high-performance business rather than a bloated bureaucracy. Voice of America, taxpayer-funded media outlet that's become a mouthpiece for globalist propaganda, is reportedly now in the hands of Kari Lake, a fierce critic of media bias who knows exactly how the game is played. Meanwhile, Trump's deregulation efforts have already saved Americans an estimated $180 billion. So think about that number. That's money back in the pockets of working families, small business, and American industry. It's no wonder CNN's data analysts are perplexed by the popularity of these moves. The question is, why should government efficiency be controversial at all? Shouldn't both parties be supporting eliminating waste and corruption? And drop your thoughts below. And celebrate the efficiency revolution with our MAGA Avengers gear. That is Elon Musk right there with Congressman Ron Paul. We got our Next News hat. We got our MAGA Avengers hat. Grab some gear. Show the world that you stand with real news on the Next News Network. I want to see you wearing this hat. No, this one over here. I want to see you wearing this hat on the street. Okay, that's how we identify each other. All right, we'll see you at the next report.